Hey there. Good morning. And, whoa, what's going on here? There we go. Hey everybody, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Taco Tuesday, Twitter Tuesday, TikTok Tuesday, whatever you want to call it. I just call it Tuesday. But we're going to talk about Latinx tacos up there. You can see that. And a whole bunch of other stuff that I found on the social media. So, you know how it works on Tuesday. If I get here on time, I just pull up a bunch of stuff that I found on Twitter because it's Twitter Tuesday. So, and in honor of Latinx tacos, yes, Taco Tuesday, I've got the kind of a Latin beat going on here. So, I hope you enjoy it. Everybody, buckle in. We got a show. Johnny, play the intro. Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight.
Yeah, there's still an echo. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet, and welcome to the Dawg Knight Channel on this Taco Tuesday. It's actually, it's not really Taco Tuesday. It's just, there was a comment, something that popped up on the internet last night when I was browsing around, and I found some humor in it. And so some people found humor in it, and some people were annoyed by it. But, if it's not a Biden gaffe, it's not a day in the week with ending in Y. So, but this would be by another Biden. Well, there's all kinds of Biden gaffes going on right now. I don't even know. I can't keep up with the Bidens. I just can't. So anyway, but we're going to catch up with one of them today. And then we got just some random stories that I pulled from the internets. And we'll see how far we get. So I hope you're all ready to have a good show. First, though, before I say good morning, everybody, we have our first sponsor today, Tall Person. You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. Dropping a deuce in the tip jar. Tall Person says, Happy Heterochromia Day. Okay. All right. Happy Heterochromia. Yes. I don't know if I should give you a horn or a...
How dare you?
But anyway, Happy Heterochromia Day. Is that like the straight crayon box or something like that? I don't even know what that means. Anybody know what heterochromia is? Anyway, let's say good morning to the troops in the chat, because that's what I like to do every day. First in the chat today is Maddie, who is going through some chemo this morning. So prayers are Maddie this morning. And also you get the bell because you were first. Also, good morning, Advocatus Dowley, the Devil's Advocate, Mike Savage, Blarg. We already heard from Tall Person. Good morning again. Good morning also to Keebler's in the house, Trippy Liberty's in the house, Civic Magic's in the house. Also, good morning to Tyre Alexander, Man Squatch, Fixmeyer Quibbit, who I usually just call FX. Good morning, FX. Also, good morning to Mystic Forest. Hello, nice welcome back. Lord Stanhope's in the house. Let's see, who am I missing? Jethro Hetero, good morning. Attack Alpaca's here. Good morning to you, Keebler. I think I already said Keebler, didn't I? This is Kyle. Hello, chat people and B-Dog. Well, hello to you too, Kyle. Also, good morning to is that everybody? Jethro? Oh, I said Jethro Hetero. Natasha Kayleen. Woohoo! Good morning. Also to Who am I missing here? I saw, Mr. Scott, welcome back. Saw you last night on, whose stream was I watching? I was watching Canon Hotep stream last night with, what was the dude's name that he was with? I subscribed to it just because I found him interesting, but I can't remember what his name was. Anyway, also Keenan's in the house. Jimmy Das Hotep, what's up? Data Wasteland. And I think that could be, Somnambule Nation is here. Welcome. Woodcut, I think I already said. Rod Line, what's up? And I'm thinking I'm getting caught up. Willet Forge. Wow, lots of people here already. We got 30 Wow, lots of people. All right, now, before I do anything, I'd like to remind you, you're the sponsors of the Morning Night Live, and the best thing you can do to sponsor the show is to share the stream. Neon Leon's in the house. How you doing? HP Lovecraft, what up? And I'm banned. Y'all are rolling in. I love it. Anyway, share the stream, because that's what the sponsor of the show is, a supporter of the show. That's what I like. that helps the most. But also, please hit the like button sometime during the show if you like what we do. You can sponsor the show at pdognight.live. That's my Streamlabs link, where you don't have to give Susan 30%. But if you had some privacy stuff or whatever, I'm not giving anyone's names out. But anyway, you could also do that YouTube super chat thing, and Susan only takes 30%, so that's okay. And then there's a couple other options down in the description below. Put a comment in the comment section if you're watching on a replay. I think I got it covered. Shall we begin? So, one of the reasons I'm playing some Latin-esque music, not Latin-X, but Latin-esque, as in, I don't know, if I was talking about some Keebler music, I'd be Keebler-esque. If I was, I don't know why I said that, Keebler. I don't know why I even brought you into this. But anyway, it was because of it really probably shouldn't have been a huge deal. But it just became one of those things it was a pattern. In fact, I got to turn this music off for a second. It fits a media pattern, okay? Something that Jill Biden did yesterday in a speech. So, what was this conference called? This conference was called, well, here, let's look at the Reuters story, because it'll tell us what the conference is called. Joe Biden was speaking at an event in Tejas, also known as Texas to y'all. And so, what do you mean reached your limit? Oh my God, I hate Reuters now. They have a limit on articles. Well, let's just go back to their little tweet here. She compares Latinx, because that's what the word they use, Latinx to breakfast tacos. Now, I'll explain as we go along here, because Reuters isn't letting me explain, but I've got plenty of these pulled up just to be safe. So here's what she said, and this is she's giving a speech. Oh no, did they cut this off? I don't want this. I want the whole clip. I don't want the, is this the whole clip here? Is this it? Maybe. Yes, this is the whole clip. Hang on. You got it. Hang on. Let me get this up.
But we can't get those things on our own.
Okay, now I got to just let you know, I'm having a little trouble with my
Raul helped
computer
build
today.
This organization.
Oh, good Lord. Here we go. There he is. Come on, Jill.
With the understanding that the diversity of this community, as distinct as the Bogotas of the Bronx, as beautiful.
Wait. What did she just say? Did she say the Bogotas? That wasn't even the part that got people, but I thought that was funny too. Listen to this again. Thank you for subscribing, B. Latvus.
This community, as distinct as the Bogotas of the Bronx, as beautiful as the blossoms of Miami, and as unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio, is your strength.
So Jill Biden, which is, and I don't have anything against Jill Biden. Excuse me, Dr. Jill Biden. Yes, she has an ED degree. Anyway, so it was comparing Latino people to the to what the Bogotas the Bogotas in she say Manhattan or Brooklyn or whatever, the Bronx or whatever. You mean the bodegas? and then flowers in Miami, because I'm sorry, but Miami's in the United States, and the breakfast tacos of San Antonio. She's comparing people to breakfast tacos, and so now there are a lot of people tweeting about this, going, yeah, I know you're out there pandering. Oh, and I got to tell you, what was the conference called? I got to find out what the conference itself was called. Oh God, I don't need to see that Joe Biden kissing his granddaughters. What was the conference called? Well, here, let me see if I can get an archive version of this stupid article from Reuters, because they cut the article off because I have too many. Apparently, I've seen too many articles from Reuters. So, you know what? Look, y'all, I just don't care. Maybe, just maybe, someone will have archived this article, and I don't care because, no, it's in the queue. Anyway, she was at some conference called, first of all, the conference itself, the name of the conference was stupid. Let's see if I can find it. Let's find this. I know. We'll go in where's the, is this it? No, damn it. Okay, well, here, she's trending, so I'll just go find her trend on Twitter, because I can't remember the name of the conference. First of all, the name of the conference itself should have been off-putting to people. Let's see, Jill, trending, she's trending. There she is. Jill Biden is trending because she was at a conference called something or other Latinx. Let's see here. After the taco fiasco, First Lady Biden will be the headline speaker at a key teachers union conference. Well, I don't care about that. I want to know what the name of this stupid conference was. Potatoes, cheese, chorizo, eggs, salsa, and tortilla. How white liberal women like Jill Biden describe the one Hispanic person they know. Yes. Well, here, let me just talk about how this was covered, though, because what was funny about this is not so much that she said it and people were kind of giving her shit about it, but how the Hill presented the reaction to it. And it's a typical way that much of the media does. And here is the article from the Hill, who says, right rips Jill Biden for saying Hispanic community is as unique as breakfast tacos. The right is basically the right pounces headline, okay? Now, this is fascinating because, yes, there were some people on the right who were concerned about it. But the very first entity that I saw that was criticizing this was the National Association of Hispanic Journalists. And I'm like, wait a minute, are they right-wingers? The National Association of Hispanic Journalists? Oh, are you sure that's not Hispanics? The National Association of Hispanic Journalists encourages FLOTUS and her communications team to take time to better understand the complexities of our people and our communities. What do you mean, our people? We are not tacos. Our heritage as Latinos. Notice they didn't use the word Latinx, too. Our heritage as Latinos is shaped by various diasporas, cultures, and food traditions. Do not reduce us to stereotypes. So anyway, apparently everyone can get offended if you really want them to. But I just thought it was funny that, the Hill comes up with this, the right rips Jill Biden for his saying Hispanic community is as unique as tacos. And so now a lot of people were pointing this out to the Hill. And notice on their, let's see, where is it? Oh no! Did Twitter? Hang on a second. Did Twitter do what I think they did here? I'm just going to go back here for a second. Oh, are you kidding me? Did they do what I think they did? Let me go to my bookmarks here. Hang on, because I had this bookmarked. I wanted to look, because there was a major ratio on this. Hang on a second. Unfortunately, my you'll have to just bear with my computer here refreshing slowly. I got to probably change. Like I said, I got to change my configuration here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so here. Oh, look at this ratio on this too. Look at the ratio. Here's the here it is right here. Right rips Jill Biden for saying community is unique as breakfast tacos. 1,099 comments to 500 retweets to 848 likes. Now, if you're not familiar with the term ratio, probably a lot of these retweets are quote tweets too. So lots of people were ripping on this whole thing, right? Actually, P-Dog, a lot of Spanish down here in South Florida are conservative. Well, no, I'm fully aware of that. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. I'm fine with that. I know a lot of. In fact, if you look at more recent polling, a lot of the Hispanics, various Hispanic communities, are becoming more and more conservative. Remember, they just elected a Republican down in the Rio Grande Valley, where the population is 85% Hispanic. They elected Maya Flores to Congress for that vacant seat down there. So no, the Hispanic community is more and more conservative and starting to figure out that these weirdos that are on the real far left that are controlling the Democrats right now, maybe, just maybe, are not the best choice for them. So, it is how it is. By the way, welcome B. Latvis to the show, and thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you coming by. They need things to write about it. Yeah, they did need something to write about. But anyway, are you coming here to... are you just coming here to troll? Mexicans still better than those Canadians. Well, as far as freedom goes, they kind of are. But anyway, so I left because this got ratioed. And so later, The Hill, which is rare, they changed, or they rewrote a new article for this, highlighting the fact that Hispanic Journalists Organization responds to Joe Biden, "We are not tacos." So it's interesting because earlier the feedback from the ratio worked for once. So I found it. And then, of course, somebody had to mention Trump, but whatever. I don't care. Anyway, so that's, I just found that fascinating. That whole situation was, Joe Biden wasn't attempting to be, she wasn't attempting to be offensive. Obviously, she's speaking to a conference. In fact, maybe The Hill, in one of these Hill articles, has the name of the conference, because the name of the conference kind of annoys me too, and I'm sure the name of the conference might annoy the Hispanic community. Let's see. Here it is. Oh, here it is. It was. Oh, they didn't show the name of the conference in the Hill article. Hang on a second, because I'm trying to find the name of this conference. National Association of Hispanic Journalists responded Monday to a much criticized comment by First Lady Jill Biden, calling the Latino community as unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio, saying their remark was culturally inappropriate. We are not tacos. Okay. She made the remark earlier Monday at the Unidos annual conference held in Texas, where she spoke on the Hispanic quest for equity. I'm sorry, if you hear the word equity in a sentence, run. What is this? Why is this stuck on my screen? That shouldn't be there. But yes, what is the name of the damn conference? It was annoying. I wonder if the Hill's not putting the name of the conference, knowing that type of language, using that stupid term Latinx, pisses people off. Maybe. I don't know why they're not showing it. That is weird. Anyway, I got to re-put this article back up here. Oh, God. Stop refreshing, stupid computer. Hang on a second, guys. It'll be just a second. I'm having some technical difficulties here. I want this in the all these. By the way, all these articles, as if you're newer here, I put every article that we look at in a link in the description down below called a one-tap link in the second paragraph. I update that during the outro, and then, so if you want to come back and look at some of these articles in full, you can do that on your own. There we go. Let's fix that. And, all right, let's move on because I don't want to talk about Jill Biden all day. So, again, most of my news on Tuesday is just random stuff I pulled up on Twitter. There's no theme necessarily today, except for that it's Twitter Tuesday, also known as Taco Tuesday in some corners of the world, also known as TikTok Tuesday, although I don't have any TikTok Tuesday. Gabrielle, what's up? Hey, Gabs. Gabs, by the way, everyone say hello to Gabriella Clark. Gabrielle is an awesome human being. And Gabs, I want you on my show sometime. I want to do it just we can do, I don't know, hour, 90 minutes. My show is normally 90 minutes. So Gabs, I do definitely want you to pop in sometime. We'll talk about that another time though, because Gabs has a very important story, an important thing that she's doing in the world that I have full support of her for. And in fact, we have a story about the issue of gender identity and what they're doing to kids and what they're trying to teach kids and kind of messing a lot of kids' heads up. So we'll talk about it another time. So, and I know, and Gab, thank you. I appreciate that. I see you said anytime you want. All right. Let's move on because I got to keep going here. So again, stories are kind of random today. If you hadn't heard this, Condoleezza Rice was in the news a couple days ago. Apparently she has become a part owner of the Denver Broncos, which is fascinating. Good God, I don't know why my computer's doing this today. Condoleezza Rice joins the ownership group for the Denver Broncos. She's an official NFL owner. The Denver Broncos announced Monday morning that the former Secretary of State under George W. Bush has joined the franchise's ownership group. Her unique experience and extraordinary judgment will be a great benefit to our group and the Broncos organization, the franchise said in a statement. And if you want to read the full statement, you can read it in the tweet here. Here's the thing. Condoleezza Rice, if you're not familiar with her, has always been a big football fan. In fact, there was a time that they were thinking of putting her in the leadership group of the NFL itself. But so I think it's awesome that she's joined an ownership group with the Denver Broncos. It's cool too. Here's one thing I appreciate as I'm reading this, and maybe it's just because it's the Daily Caller. But they're not making one of those, she's the first black woman to do this, first black woman to do that. Look, Condoleezza Rice is accomplished on her own. We don't need it. She didn't necessarily need to be labeled as a first. She just needs to be labeled as a competent person who is a owner of the Denver Broncos. And I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's pretty cool. All right. That's why I chose this article. So let's move on. This is interesting. So apparently this girl named Samantha Smith. Now, Samantha Smith is over in the UK, and she was on a television show talking about the grooming gangs in Telford. And, there's remember, what's that dude? Tommy, what the hell's that dude's name? I think it was Tommy Robinson. Remember when they were having the trials of they're in Telford, England, there was the Muslim grooming gangs, and they were, abusing young kids or whatever, girls, whatever. And they had a trial over there. Tommy Robinson got arrested because he was trying to report on it outside and whatnot. But what got lost in the story was the part about the grooming gang. So this girl, Samantha Smith, let me see if I can pull her bio up here. She's a contributor to The Spectator, The Telegraph, The Daily Mail. She went on a show to talk about these grooming gangs, right? Hey, Jaeger Pony, what's up? Nice to see you. My favorite Canadians in the house, what's up? And so she went on the show to talk about the grooming gangs that, should have been the focus, right? And apparently the next day, the police in England, or wherever she was, decided to knock on her door. So here's her telling her story about this.
I was on your show last Monday, so same time practically. I came off, there was a fantastic response from the public. I was really, my heart was warmed by the support and outreach that I received from those that either didn't know what had been going on in Telford for decades. Up to 1,000 girls had been reported to have been abused by grooming gangs since the 1980s, or those that had no idea that it could potentially still be going on, and the scale of police, council and social services failings. I went back home, I went back to Telford, and the next day around lunchtime 2 police officers banged on my door demanding that I speak to them about my interview.
Really? So the police who have done...
So I'm going to stop Mark Stein here for a second. So, and it just, things like this remind me that in theory, in the United States, you can go talk about things and not have the police come knocking at your door, except try to be someone who's against certain practices in the schools right now and see what happens. Like when they were arresting people in the London County School Board for speaking up, for parents for speaking up, or the fact that the Justice Department was labeling parents who are not happy about what their kids are being taught in school being called terrorist threats. So, but this thing in Telford, like she said, she's been happening since the 80s, thousands of girls. So anyway.
Nothing for the entire 3rd millennium to date suddenly were roused to activity by you going on television.
Yeah, they told me that they had gone round to all of the addresses they had on file for me. They had gone to my previous home addresses, the different combinations that I'd stayed at looking for me, and eventually they
even
located...
talking about Telford. That's insane.
They hunted me down, they tracked me, banged on my door, not too different to when they're knocking on the door of a perpetrator, of a potential criminal. I was on FaceTime to my friend at the time, who said to me afterwards, I genuinely thought you were going to get arrested from the way that they were talking to you. They told me that, quote unquote, when you go on GB News and talk about grooming gangs in Telford, it's our duty to follow up with you.
That's not actually true, is it?
No.
So the police are, among other things, lying to you.
It's funny, I said to them at the time, it was funny that they did absolutely nothing to bring my accusers to justice, but when I went on national TV, my abusers to justice, but when I went on national TV and talked about the industrial scale of their failings and their inaction in bringing to justice the perpetrators of vile rape, grooming, sexual assault and child sex crimes in Telford, that they are suddenly spurred into action to come and knock on my door and intimidate me into silence.
It's pretty pathetic, these big butch coppers being so insecure that you going on TV and criticising them can drive them into action that they otherwise haven't taken for decades. Do you know who actually
they're treating her like
ordered
a criminal for criticizing the police for not taking action on these.
The word, right?
I have absolutely no idea. I know that it was two police officers from the CSE team that knocked on my door. They said they had been working for the force for a year and 6 months respectively, and they were quote-unquote trying to make a difference. I don't know what difference they were making by going after a victim rather than the perpetrators, those that have been systematically raping, abusing, grooming and passing girls round for decades.
So anyway, so she goes and does an interview about the experience and about what she do, and the fact that they have ignored this in Telford for years, and then the police come and talk to her for doing an interview. It's like priorities, but the idea that you think that might not happen here. As Gab said up the top, I just saw that Gab says, I'm considered a domestic terrorist. The feds have been watching me for months, because she goes out and in her new school board in Houston. In fact, I think I might have played the clip of you doing that, Gab, speaking in front of the school board in Houston. What's your phrase? Oh, shoot. Now I forgot the phrase. Tell me the phrase, Gabs. Just put it in the chat. By the way, good morning, Jay Pylon, Asia Research Director, Simon Wolfwood. Why are you so angry? Is the name not a statement? And I thought somebody else showed up. Somebody showed up that I didn't see. Anyway, yakety smackety. That's it. We're not going to have all that yakety smackety. Anyway, if you remember the yakety smackety clip from a couple weeks ago, that's Gabs in the chat right now. All right, moving on. Interesting article in the New York Post today, which is an article that is probably going to cause them to get lots of people pissed off at them. But in the famous world of the New York Post, they just don't give a fuck. So anyway, they have an article about a trans woman who returns to life as a man and takes aims at the activist doctor who turned his life upside down. Now, I do have an interesting clip. If you saw What is a Woman, I'll show you that clip because I was going to show it yesterday. But anyway, coming out of this, so this is Ricky Schlott wrote this article. Coming out of my transition was like leaving the Twilight Zone, but the rest of society is still in it. After living nearly a decade of his life as a transgender woman named Brianna, Brian Wagner ultimately came to realize his transition had been a mistake. In February, the 31-year-old made the decision to detransition back to his biological gender and live once again as a man. It was basically like a medical professional's cheering on a girl with bulimia for puking up her lunch when her ribs are already poking out, he said, of the estrogen treatment he was put on for years. There's a lot of money to be made by doctors here. They see the dollar signs, and in the end, money talks. And that's something that's people are just starting to hit the tip of the iceberg on, and the fact that a lot of these people are making so much money off this, and so and particularly the pharmaceuticals, because you look, and also this is a 31-year-old man who was in this for I think 6 years and realized that it's just a mistake. And now you got people out there saying, oh, well, we should have affirmation for kids to do this. Kids whose brains aren't even developed. So anytime I see one of these stories, my ears go up, they perk up. Said it was basically, Wagner reached out to the Post after reading an article in June that profiled two young women who regretted transitioning into men in their teens. One of those detransitioners, Chloe Cole, who had a double mastectomy, is now campaigning for a Florida rule that would block Medicaid funds from paying for medical interventions in cases like her. Well, the problem is she has the Biden administration doing just the opposite. But and maybe Florida can supersede whatever law is going on there. Growing up in San Gabriel, California, or Valley, California, the son of divorced parents, Wagner said he was always a typical boy. When I was a kid, I liked Legos and trucks. He said, I never wanted to wear my sister's clothes. I never wanted to play with Barbies. But Wagner also knew he was gay, something that was frowned upon in his father's household where he'd lived as a teen. Wagner said his dad is a Vietnam veteran and a very alpha male, super macho guy. Learned at a young age that being gay is a terrible thing. I was so paranoid about him finding out that I was. As a closeted teen, Wagner began dabbling in drugs, and by the time he transferred from a junior college at the University of Laverne in California to study sociology at age 20, okay, stop. I'm going to stop right there. Sociology right now, what does it encourage? And what department are the majors that end in studies? Where do they reside? Sociology departments. And remember what I said, if you have a major that ends in the word studies, you might want to start studying menus. Okay, I've told the joke many a time, but I love it, the joke. It's my favorite joke. Anyway, he said he was regularly using marijuana, ecstasy, Adderall, and cocaine that he got from his friends and dealers at his school. He said he began experiencing withdrawal and was staying up for days on ends and even contemplated suicide. It was also around that time, we got an ad that popped up. It was also around that time, he said, that he developed an addiction to online porn. Gay porn led him to transgender fetish content, which sparked a sudden feeling of gender dysphoria, also described as discomfort with one's body. Before I discovered this bizarre subgenre of pornography, the idea of being a woman never crossed my mind. It just came out of nowhere, really, he said. Desperate for a lifeline, in early 2012, he started searching for information about the transgender movement on YouTube. And found a clinical social worker based in Los Angeles who made videos about trans people. He made an appointment to see her during their first in-person session, he said. She immediately told him he could be transgender. You know what? And for some people, it takes that one suggestion, and then they just continue to convince them that this will change your life. This will save your life. And what happens is, so many people after this happens, when their life doesn't get better, and they've done all these things that have physically changed them, that's where the big problem comes. And that's where the big problem is going to come for all these kids who are doing this shit now at age 13, 14, 15. We got to stop. I'm becoming a TERF, even if I'm not a feminist. I just thought maybe I had some sort of fetish, Wagner said, but when I went to go see this therapist, I wonder if she was a gender-affirming therapist. And she told me I'm really a woman trapped in a man's body. Oh, she was a gender-affirming therapist. And all my other problems were really because I was transgender. We'll solve all your problems. But don't call it grooming. After just a couple therapy sessions, the therapist gave Wagner, then 22, a referral letter to see a doctor in Hollywood who wrote him a prescription for estrogen on his first visit. He said, this therapist knew I was addicted to drugs. She knew I had severe depression, but we didn't go over any of that. It was just about hormones. Just about hormones. Along with regular hormone therapy, Wagner had laser hair removal of his entire body, legally changed his name to Brianna. At the time, transition seemed like a way to escape suppressed identity. The idea that I'd become a heterosexual woman and not a gay man was just really appealing to me. Okay, there seems to be a contradiction of terms there. Anyway, and not a gay man, I was so sick of being Brian the fag, I just liked the idea of being literally anyone else. He was also rewarded socially for transitioning to a woman at college, where he remained a student until he was 25. It's the, Hercules, you're just so happy for you. I'm being your real self. You're so proud of you. Everyone has to affirm you and cheer you. But then what happens when that doesn't change you inside, like it's inside of here? I got a lot of praise and people suddenly wanted to be my friend. Ooh, I wonder how it's going now. Maybe he'll say something about that. But in his personal life, Wagner was struggling. Transition made all my problems worse, he said. He got even harder drugs, including heroin. After graduating from college, he went to rehab 4 times before finally getting sober and holding down a steady job, which he declined to disclose out of concern he will be targeted by the gender activist community. Oh, he will. He will. Now that this is out, he absolutely will. God, I pray for this dude. After he started tuning out woke political beliefs on social media and listening to contrarian media figures like Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan. He said he realized he no longer wanted to be Brianna. Once I got off drugs and got a real job, I just had a clear head and started feeling a new gender dysphoria all over again, he said. I was looking at myself in the mirror and looking at my childhood photos as a little boy and started thinking, what have I done? So in February, Wagner went back to living as a man after spending a third of his life as a woman. He cut his hair, stopped hormone therapy, and changed his name back. Fortunately, I never got surgery. Oh, good for him. But he said he suffers from painful urination and an inflamed pelvic area due to his estrogen treatment and is being monitored for osteoporosis, a known side effect of hormone therapy. That's the one that they seem not to tell you. You know, I'm sorry. That's, you know, and especially the ones who, the puberty blockers, the drug that they use to what is the chemical castrate sex offenders, those fuck up your bones very badly. And estrogen in men and the testosterone in women, it fucks up your bones. And you get young people getting osteoporosis. Let's see. After years of repressing his true self, he has finally come to terms with who he is. I'm really connected with being myself and accepted the fact that I'm gay, Wagner said. He even came out to his father, who said has fully accepted him. My dad and I are cool now. He knows I'm gay. He doesn't even care. Had I been honest from the get-go, I do think I could have possibly prevented me from going down this path. In retrospect, Wagner blames medical professionals for glossing over the other personal crises he was experiencing, like internalized homophobia and drug addiction. My therapist was really an activist. Gender affirming care. Does that sound like it could be an activist? He was an activist who also happened to be a psychologist, he said. Now, I don't know how many of you saw the Matt, what's his name, Matt Walsh film, What is a Woman? But that's those people he was talking to, the doctor, the professor, the psychologist. They were all activists. They weren't just therapists. You know, like Peterson said in that movie, they weren't giving therapy. You don't affirm anything in therapy. You get people to talk and learn from them and try to, let them learn from themselves. But no, they affirm this because it's an industry now. I probably should have been put on in a psychiatric hospital, not given estrogen. I just needed someone to listen to me, but this woman had me go and change my body chemistry and my whole life. Now that he's content living as a man, Wagner said he hopes to tell his tale serves as a warning to others. The reason I decided to speak out is because here in California, there are really no barriers to transition. He said he's even considering pursuing legal action against a therapist and doctor who helped him coast through his transition without ever investigating what was really going on under the surface. I just don't want to see people have the same bad experience that I had, he said. I hope someone will hear this story and really think about what they're doing and get therapy. Yeah, I hope some parents read this shit too and say, wait a minute, why am I affirming my 7-year-old to be something else, Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm guaranteed. Now, when I saw this article, let's see, let me see if I have the link to it, the tweet that I found it in from the New York Post. Here, I'll do it off the screen. But I'm curious now that I've read the articles. I didn't read the whole article. I read part of it, and I think, oh, yeah, I'll definitely go through this one today. I'm curious what the replies to the New York Post are. So here is, let's see, I have the article right here. Let me copy the link and put it next to the articles so that when you guys read it, they're right next to each other. All right, there we go. Now, let's just go through replies to the tweet the New York Post has announcing this article. And I guarantee you, there's going to be some voices in here that are be like, some of the, who is it? What did you say, Gabrielle? Some of these queens be vicious. Is that what you said? So here's the tweet. Oh, this is from Lionel Media. I don't know if the New York Post put a tweet about this. Oh no, there's not. Oh no. Don't worry. Brian Brianna will come up with something else for attention. Yeah, come on now. I didn't get this from the Washington Post. I got this from Lionel Media. So there's probably not going to be a whole lot of replies to it yet. I wonder if let's check the New York Post Twitter feed though. Let's do that. Let's see. Let's go how am I doing here for time? I'm good for time. New York Post. I think that's what it's listed under. Jesus, I wonder if they even have featured this article yet, because I want to see how people are replying to it. Here is New York Post. Wish my computer wasn't going so slow. That's kind of a bummer. All right, let's see if they've even featured this article today on Twitter at the New York Post. BMW owners, Fed's phones, have GOP voters want someone other than Trump in 2024. High rate of erectile dysfunction. The New York Post is kind of hit and miss. Sometimes it's news, and sometimes it's like, is this the Enquirer? I don't know. They may not have featured this article, and if they did, oh boy, let's see if we can find this. Let's see. Nah, my screen's refreshing too slow. Let's just not worry about it. But anyway, I think you're going to start hearing more and more and more stories like that. I'm just saying. And especially, man, when some of these teens that got caught up in this I hate to call it nonsense, but it's nonsense. That got caught up in this nonsense because it was a cool thing to do, because the teachers were encouraging it, because everyone celebrated you because you did this. And then you figure out 5-6 years later, you're like, oh, this hurts. My back is killing my bones are breaking too easy. I'm sick all the time. I'm so tired of taking these hormones that I have to take for the rest of my life. What? I have to take this shit for the rest of my life? It's just crazy. Anyway, good morning, Eddie Haskell. Big Dro's in the house. I see Old Grouchy Gamer. Good to see you. Willett Forge, what's happening? And Johnny Hellcat, the original viewer of The Morning Night Live. Welcome to the show. Let's get back into the... I got to put the music back on. Why is that so quiet? There we go. Play. What the hell? There we go. All right. Now that might be a little loud. You'll have to let me know. I can't always tell. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Or maybe that's just my headphones. No, that should be right. It might just be my headphones. Anyway, we've got more stories. Speaking of bodegas, or what did she say? Joe Biden said bodegas. The Brooklyn bodegas. Well, there's an update to the story on Jose Alba, the gentleman in Brooklyn, in New York City, he ended his attacker with a knife after the woman who tried to buy some stuff with her EBT card got declined, and she went and got her boyfriend. Boyfriend came to beat up the guy, and the guy grabbed a knife and stabbed him in the neck, and he was no longer. And apparently the woman, there's now video of the woman who also was stabbing who pulled her own knife and was stabbing him. But he got charged with second-degree murder and could face up to 25 years in prison if he's convicted. And she hasn't been charged. And everyone's like, well, why the bloody hell hasn't she been charged? Well, we now know why she hasn't been charged. Story of the New York Post today says the district attorney feels the woman who allegedly stabbed New York City bodega worker Jose Alba was defending her boyfriend. Of course, sources. The gal pal of the ex-con killed while attacking Manhattan bodega workers, Jose Alba, was not charged with stabbing the clerk during the melee because prosecutors felt she was just defending her beau. Police sources told the Post on Monday. The decision stunned Alba's supporters, not to mention the worker himself, who faces a controversial sleigh rap for her boyfriend's death, even though he and hordes of supporters say video shows he clearly was acting in self-defense, a bodega rep said. Quote, I don't understand why the district attorney hasn't charged her, Francisco Marte of the Bodega Small Business Association group said outside Alba's Hamilton Heights apartment after visiting the worker on Monday. He said the 61-year-old clerk and his supporters believe the 32-year-old gal pal should be locked up for stabbing Alba 3 times while he was fending off her irate boyfriend. She participated in that shit. Okay, they didn't say that shit. Marte said of the incident, she's supposed to be in jail, and the $250,000 bail Alba once faced should be on her, not him, and he was just defending himself. That sounds correct. But police said prosecutors refused to charge the woman because they felt she was justified because she was helping her boyfriend as he was being slashed. Now, good God, what am I saying wrong? Am I saying bodega wrong? What am I saying wrong, Natasha? I'm not sure. Well, maybe you tell me which word. Put it, if you could put it phonetically in the chat, that would be helpful. Bodegas. Bodegas? I just looked up there. Bodegas. It's not bodegas? Bodegas. Well, whatever it is, it's a little mini mart. It's a convenience store. That's what I'll call it. Hello, Selecta Boy.
Yeah,
nice to see
boy.
you. Anyway, so prosecutors refused to charge the woman because they felt she was justified because she was helping her boyfriend as he was being slashed. You mean the boyfriend that was over there beating the man behind the counter when he shouldn't have even been behind the counter in the first place? What is wrong with you people? The DA's office has looked at the tape and no, wait a minute. The DA's office, listen to this. I'm about to smack somebody. The DA's office looked at the tape and they felt she was defending her boyfriend. Did they look at the whole tape or just the seconds after the boyfriend was being stabbed? Oh my God. Oh my God. But defense lawyer and former Bronx prosecutor Michael Discario, I'm sure I'm just mangling that one, but anyway, said he's in Alba's camp on this one. I have no idea why she's not charged. Discario said her boyfriend was the aggressor. She does not get to protect the aggressor. Yes. We're getting a good look at how the system works for the average person, he said. Imagine if there was no video, Jose Alba would never be released from Rikers and the girlfriend would testify against him, likely perjuring herself. You know, here's the problem. See this guy? This fella right here. This is Alvin Bragg, the district attorney, who isn't charging the woman, but charging Alba after a man comes behind his counter and attacks him. The man, it's clear from the video, the man came from behind the counter and attacked him. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that fully fits in the category of fuck around and find out. And I'm sorry. Yeah, first of all, how does Alvin Bragg here, what the hell does Alvin Bragg think the man was doing behind the counter, first of all? He didn't belong back there. I don't understand. Now, here's, let's see, we're getting a little good. Alba is working behind the counter at the bodega. I don't know however you say it. July 1st. Now, I know it's not Bogada, like Jill Biden says, or what did she say? Bogada? Yeah, she said Bogada. Anyway, Alba was working behind the counter at the bodega on July 1st when the woman became furious after her debit cards were repeatedly denied, and she sought to buy her 10-year-old daughter a bag of chips. This is over a bag of chips! The woman claimed Alba was rude during the failed purchase and ran home to get her 35-year-old boyfriend, Austin Simon. Simon, a career criminal who did state prison time for assaulting a cop. Oh my God. I didn't hear that part before. He did time for assaulting a cop. But Alvin Bragg wants to save this man. He wants to, well, he can't save him. He's dead now. Anyway, stormed behind the counter, shoved Alvin to the wall, then blocked his exit. Video shows. Cornered, Alvin reached for a knife and stabbed Simon 5 times and mortally wounded him, while also apparently being stabbed himself by the woman while security video shows. Cops charged Alba with second-degree murder and weapons possession. Okay, look, and weapons possession. Bogadas. Yeah, she said Bogadas. It's not that. Hello, Kessler. What's up? I thought it was an EBT card. Well, you see, look, EBT cards are debit cards now. They come in the form of like a Visa. Those debit cards. So that's what so it was a debit card that was an EBT card. So kind of. Yeah, no, it's a food stamp, but they come in the form of a debit card. They put a balance on a debit card, then you use that, and it has some restrictions, but not too much. But anyway, so they charged him with second-degree murder and weapons possession. So he had a knife. Wait a minute. Are you not allowed to have a knife in New York City? Is this London or something? Does anybody know? What are the rules in New York City for knives? I know they're pretty bad on handguns, but what the weapons possession? The woman later claimed to cops that she never stabbed Alba, despite surveillance footage suggesting otherwise. Sources said she could not be reached for comment. Manhattan prosecutors declined to comment Monday, saying the office does not disclose details of pending criminal cases. Earlier Monday, Alba spoke out for the first time since the deadly incident. "I'm very sad. I didn't think this would happen," he said in Spanish. "At the moment, I was in shock. I didn't know what to do or what to say." Asked if he had a message for Simon's family, he said he was sorry. I'd tell them that I didn't want to do this, he said. "I asked that they please forgive me because I didn't want to do that." All right, so kind of feel bad for this guy. Well, kind of feel bad. I feel really bad for this guy. This is insanity. I'm just saying, it's insanity. All right, I only got a couple more, and this is about good timing. So, what's this one? Oh, this is kind of a funny story. I don't know. Oh, it's still. Oh my gosh, this thing hasn't come out. All right, but hopefully by the end of the show, you'll be able to read the Washington Post article. But I found this funny. So in India, the police have shut down what they called a fake cricket league that enlisted farmers and youths to pretend to be professional players in an alleged scheme that ensnared Russian gamblers. And I can't read the article because it's a Washington Post article, which I think I've run out of. Maybe let's see if I can read part of it here. I was going to give you the archive version because I think I've used up my Washington Post 3 free articles this month. Maybe I have it. Fake cricket league hired farmers as pros, duped Russian gamblers, police say. Indian police shut down what they called a fake cricket league that enlisted farmers used blah, blah, blah to pretend to be professional players and hired a presenter and announcer who sounded like one of the sport's most famous commentators in an alleged scheme that ensnared Russian gamblers. Police say, "Oh, you son of a bitch, get off my screen. Please let me read this." Police say the plot took place in a rural part of western Indian state of Gujarat. The games were streamed on YouTube, but the narrow camera angle did not show the wider backdrop to viewers. Instead, digital crowd noise was piped into the footage, accompanying commentary by a voice that resembled that of Harsha Bogle, a household name among cricket fans worldwide. The sham league began a few weeks after the latest season of the Indian Premier League, an actual competition that is widely followed in India and elsewhere, which concluded in May. Police say organizers set up a Telegram channel to facilitate wagers from gamblers in Russia who bet on results that were fixed. Players followed instructions by umpires who were under control of the bookies. Sports betting is generally prohibited in India. Gujarat police said they received a tip about the fake league last week and conducted a raid as a bogus match was being played. Law enforcement officials did not identify the suspects, but they arrested 2 umpires and 2 organizers, according to Bhavesh Rothad, a state police officer. It's a very complicated and technology-based crime. I will have to take help from the cybercrime cell to find the mastermind, he said. The fake league's batters and bowlers, similar to baseball's pitchers, wore uniforms of major IPL teams, Chennai Super Kings, Mumbai Indians, and Gujarat Titans. They were paid about $5 a game and are being treated as witnesses and says suspects. They scammed some Russian gamblers with a fake cricket league. You know, I tell you, if I decided to bet on cricket, I don't know that I would know the difference between real cricket and fake gambling scam cricket. So there you go. I think that story's hilarious. You can't. Oh, in New York, I don't know if things change, but you could carry a knife. You could carry a knife anywhere on you, as long as it's not longer than hand width, like a Rambo knife. You cannot possess a blade more than 3 inches in length, and even if it is, you have to have justification, or they might lock you up. Well, I mean, in 3 inches, I suppose any kitchen knife would be more than 3 inches. That's kind of wild. Anyway, all right. Let's see. That article didn't. All right. And here's another post. I just want to leave time for this last thread because it's kind of important. But anyway, another article in the New York Post. Why is this going so slow? Everything on my computer is slow today. So apparently there was a plane crash in 2018, and it was in where was this? Doesn't say where. It might have been in New York. Well, so they have some new footage of this crash, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because the crash was by a airport worker who stole a plane. Newly released CCTV footage captures the harrowing moment at a Washington State airport employee. Oh, it was in Washington State. Stole an Alaska Airlines plane and took it for a joyride before fatally crashing it. Richard Russell, a ground control agent, died after he stole the plane at the Seattle-Tacoma International Airport in August 2018 and drove it into the ground of a remote island in Puget Sound, authorities said at the time. His death was ruled a suicide. Now, in new footage of the moments before he took off, the 29-year-old can be seen walking through the airport security with the Sky's No Limit t-shirt. Russell is then seen walking into a restricted area meant for baggage handlers, getting onto the tarmac tow vehicle, and dragging the plane as he was set to, the plane he was set to steal onto the runway. Where's the rest of this? Why is this doing this? Well, for whatever reason, that did that. But I think this is the... Oh, I see. The chilling footage of his final moments next shows Russell jumping onto the plane and presumably getting into the cockpit. Seattle ground horizon guy about to take off. It's going to be crazy, he tells traffic control, according to a video provided to local Seattle news outlet KOIN. Although he didn't have a pilot's license, Russell knew how to work the plane from his experience as an airport employee, the FBI previously said. How? How did he... Wait a minute. It's not like there's an instruction manual on how to take off a plane. What? Before he took off, several people at the airport questioned what was going on. Who's the aircraft on runway 16 center? An air traffic controller can heard being saying, "Tower, you need to call and scramble now," one pilot warned, according to the video. After taking off, an air traffic controller said he needs some help controlling his aircraft. Russell responded, "Nah, I mean, I don't need that much help. I played some video games before." Holy shit. Russell, who's worked for Horizon Air, a regional subsidiary of Alaska Airlines, flew the plane for 73 minutes before crashing it into a remote Ketron Island, which has fewer than 20 residents. "I got a lot of people that care about me. It's going to disappoint them to hear I did this, he hauntingly said before his death. So dude stole a plane, flew it for just over an hour, and then flew it into an island. Wow. I had never heard this story before. Anyway, I thought it was fascinating, and, the things you find on Twitter, this is it. Rest in peace, Sky King. Yeah, rest in peace, Sky King. Okay, so final thing that we're going to go through today, and it's going to take some time here. It's a thread about January 6th. Apparently, now anytime I see something from Gateway Pundit, I take it with a grain of salt. Not that I don't like Jim. Jim's a good guy, but he's a bit on the hyperbolic side. However, there's a leaked document that Jim somehow got a hold of from the FBI that he published that said they're FBI leaked documents regarding a confidential human source the FBI had in the Kansas City Proud Boys organization. Now, this is a fascinating article. I was just talking about this, yesterday? About the origins of the Proud Boys and how they're described in the media versus what they started as and what I know about them in hearing about them over the last 6 years since about when they were founded, because they were founded roughly 6 years ago. That's when I got onto YouTube, and it was right after that, particularly during the 2016 election and that whole time period when there was a whole lot of strife when conservative speakers on college campuses were being protested and there was violence against Trump, Trump supporters at rallies and things like that. And so we talked about that the other day. Well, a confidential human source that the FBI had with the Kansas City Proud Boys, apparently they call them the CHS in this thread. The CHS was prior to the December 12th pro-Trump rally in D.C. I think they meant January 6th because they go back to January 6th. Oh, I see. This is they have communications with the guys. Okay, so these documents were released, and the CHS is the confidential human source for the FBI. CHS stated there are no discussions of pre-planned violence, and that's in this. CHS reported there would be a Proud Boys march for Trump in Washington, D.C. on Saturday, December 12th at 12 p.m. There is at least one pickup truck, approximately 5, from the KC Proud Boys chapter going to the event. Other KC Proud Boys chapter members are also discussing whether to attend. CHS stated there are no discussions of pre-planned violence, but at least one member mentioned looking forward to cracking Antifa skulls in self-defense if given the opportunity. Now, CHS stated the rally at Washington, D.C. on January 6th should be concerned. However, this was based on publicly available posts on 4chan and Reddit, not internal Proud Boy communications. And then the CHS appears to have been authorized to travel to D.C. on January 6th and instructed to make contact with 2 subjects of full field investigations. Names are redacted, so he was going to make contact while he was there on January 6th with field contacts. What individuals or groups are threatening violence in response to the arrest of Tario? This is one of the questions that he was asked, and he answered there was no plans for violence. CHS stated the plan remained the same, and only violence will be self-defense from Antifa or other leftist groups. So he was there, as I've said many times, and I've kind of knew this. These people came there because there was a Trump rally in the Capitol, and they expected counter-protesters. Now, if you remember what happened back then, many of the counter-protesters that were on their way were kind of headed off the pass. That they know that there were Antifa people out there, but police were telling them to go away. Now, how did that happen? It's fascinating because these guys, and that's why these guys actually came there. Lonely boys looking for friends. Maybe some were just guys who just got tired of watching people get beat up in the streets all the time, so they decide to come out there and be people to defend the people in the streets. I remember this distinctly. Anyway, the FBI met with the CHS, the Confidential Human Source, on January 6th and made this report. CHS stated the Proud Boys were not involved in, nor did they inspire the breaking of the barriers at the U.S. Capitol building. Now, that's this one guy who said that. CHS also stated that the KC Proud Boys, in attendance at the rally, entered the Capitol building 30 minutes after the building was breached to help de-escalate Trump supporters and law enforcement. Now, if you saw, once they got in, there wasn't a whole lot of de-escalating to do, but whatever. And then here are the FBI DOJ reports at their confidential human source committed. Here are the FBI DOJ reports that their confidential human source committed unauthorized illegal activity by entering the Capitol. So all these documents are in this thread, by the way. It'll be in the link. And this CHS is extremely receptive to FBI directions and admonishments. So just a couple things that are in some of these documents. Also, CHS sent the FBI to a video of a fellow Kansas City Proud Boy asking, "Do you want your house back?" Then yelling, "Take it." FBI synopsis: identification of a Kansas City-based individual who incited a riot at the U.S. Capitol on 1/6, which is kind of funny because they said they didn't enter until after it was already breached. FBI HQ wanted to know if the source was willing to return to the Capitol on the 20th for the inauguration. He was. However, no one else was going to show up. FBI spent $59.62 on a January 21 debrief with the source. Total payment amounts are redacted. That's these pages. And then these pages show on February 4th, the source reported many Proud Boy chapters were disbanding, including the Kansas City Proud Boys, due to the label that to terrorist organizations, because they were being called terrorist organizations, being used in Canada, and concerned of being called terrorists by the Biden administration. Remember, they started calling them terrorists after that, blaming this on them, and they still are. And then from the KC Refugees Telegram channel, there was only one member, and the other two were prospects. Prez gave out a code of conduct to everyone wanting to go, and Billy violated that, man. Billy is mentioned in one of the documents as inciting a riot. And then case here, there's KC Proud Boys was specifically told not to start anything and to maintain defensive status. For example, the group decided that Ryan Ashlock was going to attend the rally under his CHS, the source's wing, because Ashlock had made inflammatory posts. So there's all kinds of things in these documents. I got a couple more minutes, so we'll go through the rest. Also, the Proud Boys attending the January 6th rally discussed reports that Antifa was going to be dressed in plain clothes like Trump supporters. Accordingly, these Kansas City Proud Boys members attending the rally were instructed to dress similarly and not wear Proud Boys colors. The Kansas City Proud Boys believed they were attending the rally to prevent Antifa from attacking Trump supporters. The group discussed not carrying weapons because that would be seen as offensive and would detract from their defensive stance. Nobody discussed breaking barriers or taking any action with respect to the U.S. Capitol. The source described the group as just walking and following the people who seemed to be leading it. At that point, there was no talk or rumors of taking the Capitol building. Also, the source informed the handling agent contemporaneously with the first barrier taken down outside of the contemporaneously. Why did they even use that word? With the first barrier taken down outside the U.S. Capitol. The source considered whether the FBI would approve of, or if the FBI would want the DHS to observe what was taking place inside the building. The source ultimately overheard someone in the crowd state they hoped nobody was stealing or destroying anything of historical significance. After hearing this, the source determined that there was justification for entering the U.S. Capitol building to prevent or observe and document individuals doing those types of acts. The source did not touch anything in the U.S. Capitol building. The source did not break anything. The source entered through an unobstructed door and did not force her or his way into any area. Apparently, the source didn't do the same things most of those charged didn't do those same things most of those charged didn't do. I don't know how that's a poorly written sentence. And then on January 13th, the FBI re-admonished the source that the source is not to participate in unauthorized illegal activities. The source has no immunity for participation in such unauthorized illegal activities. Despite lack of immunity, the source seems to have avoided charges. And then the last page, the source reported that he or she brought 2 motorcycle helmets and personal body armor that was worn that day. The source also reported that Chris Kuhn handed the source pepper spray, but the pepper spray was never used. Apparently, FBI informants were involved in arming the Proud Boys. That's his. Yeah. So anyway, if you want to link to the PDF, it's in the story here. And there's a few more pages, but I'm going to stop for now. And let's just go to the chats. By the way, thank you. Oh, FTG Farms Inc. is back. FTG Farms Inc.
You are
the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Let's see. Let's see. Hello. In partnership with Avocados Diabli. Oh, hello. FTG Farms Inc., in partnership with Avocados Diabli, is producing FTG Fire. When you want to make sure that you really show your anger when you leave an FTG, use FTG Fire, guaranteed to literally light a fire and burn down someone's house. Burn them with FTG Fire. Thank you, FTG Farms Inc. So, FTG Farms, longtime sponsor of the Morning Night Live. I think he has some relation to our good friend Ty Alexander. So thank you for sponsoring the show again. All right, now I need to stop the music because I'm going to finish the show with something a little creepy. And, I know I dabbled in doing a creepypasta videos on my creepypasta channel, which is, what do I call it? Creepy Dog Productions. Well, I have one for you today that is sure, absolutely sure, to put a chill in your heart. And it's a story that, well, you just have to hear it to believe it. Let me find some scary music because we need some scary music for this thread. It's a short story, but one that should bring chills to your heart. Shall we? How long do I need for this? I don't know. Let's try this one. Let's see how this sounds. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this tale of mystery and suspense. This is by somebody who calls themselves Garlic. This isn't the right music. It's definitely not. Let's try something else. Let's try this. Ah, yes, much better so far. While I worked at a Subway in my early 20s, no, this is not a story about Jussie Smollett, I made many questionable sandwiches. But there is one I will never forget. I think about this sandwich at least once a week. It haunts my nightmares. I sincerely worry about the person who ordered it. This early dinner time shift, 5 to 6 p.m., there were 3 of us working in the line, all 20-somethings, because at the time, all of the big adults had quit or been fired. Our store was run by kids for about a month. A group of high school-aged kids came in. I served the second girl in the group. She wanted a footlong on white bread. Cool. Double provolone and double American cheese. I can respect that. Does she want it toasted? No. Veggies? No. Sauce? Yes. Ranch, please. Now, I'm not denying people who have taste buds of a toddler the privilege of watching your sandwich come together before your very eyes behind a curved pane of glass covered with the fingerprints and sneezes of those who came before them. They deserve Subway too. However, this girl wanted ranch dressing, so I put ranch 2 lines on her sandwich. More, please. I put 2 more lines of ranch on her sandwich. More, please. I put another 2 lines. Her, visibly annoyed. More than that. I'm beginning to become concerned. I add more. At this point, the cheese, the only other thing on the bread, is nearly obscured. She's irritated now. Just keep going. I stare at her, the refillable squeeze bottle in hand. You want more than this? Her? Yeah, I'll tell you when to stop. I continue. I'm in disbelief. After a few more passes with the bottle, the dressing is beginning to run off the sides of the bread. I look up at her. She does this motion. My soul exits my body as I continue to squirt ranch dressing onto her sandwich. It's more of a open-faced soup at this point. I look up at her, expecting her to tell me to stop. She doesn't. She wants more. Her friends are looking at her like, I feel like that waiter in the cartoons who is never told when, as he grates the fresh Parmesan cheese onto someone's pasta. The plate is just a mound of grated cheese. The table is covered in cheese. The room fills with cheese. But my room is filled with ranch dressing. Dear reader, I ran out. And she says, do you have another bottle? Now, people with more normal human-style sandwiches are passing her in line. Her friends are already paying or sitting down. I don't even look at her anymore. I look at my manager standing beside me. He shrugs. We are broken people. I guess I'll just use another bottle. I must have eventually satisfied her demands with ranch dressing. I weakly asked if she would like salt and pepper. No, I don't know how I wrapped that thing. I must have blacked out. I just remember how wet it was. She paid for that monstrosity and then sat down and ate with her friends, seemingly without incident. I don't know how. I will never understand how. If I think about it too long, my mind will collapse on itself, imagining the eldritch horror of the worst sandwich ever made. I forgot to add that she did this without a trace of irony on her face. She didn't even crack a smile. She didn't laugh like, I know this seems crazy. She was stone-faced, serious, dead-ass. I'm so glad so many of you are enjoying my misery. Be kind to each other. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. If you haven't done so, hit the like button, share the stream before, during, and after the stream. Put a comment in the comment section if you're watching on replay. And thanks to our sponsors today, tall person, FTG Farms, aka Ty Alexander. And please, join me on another day, if you dare, 10 o'clock Eastern, on the Morning Night Live. I gotta go. My name is Dawg Knight. And I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.